Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Mountain Valley Farms. Thank you so much for returning for yet another episode here on this fantastic map. Now, as you can kind of see, as we turn the tractor and the camera sort of panned around, we have made um, extremely remarkable progress on our project here. Our project obviously being clearing this land and getting everything ready for basically farming again. And let's just I want to just unhook here and get rid of that. We'll get back in our Massey here. Now, to be quite honest with you, I've got to turn off I've got to turn off the mod, the repair vehicle mod, just because every time you hit V to disconnect the PTO, it repairs your vehicle, and I just don't want to have it do that each and every time. I'd rather just repair the vehicle. With that particular mod, we'll use that particular mod to repair our vehicles before we get ready to sell them. So in other words, the forestry stuff like that. The other repair stuff we'll do per the seasons mod. So anyway, let's see. I honestly cannot remember where we sort of left off with regards to what all that we have been doing here. And so to be quite honest, I cannot remember if in episode number 2, if we actually purchased this, if we actually purchased this tractor, and if we purchased the plow. This is a little chisel plow that I used, I think, on Coleborough Park Farm before that map just basically became uncooperative with us. And so therefore, since I can't remember, I'm just going to kind of recap a couple of things. It's been about a week since I've actually recorded any episodes, and part of that was with regards to the Memorial Day holiday, some other things that are kind of going on in my life with regards to work and with regards to my wife. My wife is doing much better. She's feeling much better, and but there's still just been a whole lot of doctor's appointments and such as that. So let me just kind of, I'm pretty sure we've done everything with the forestry equipment. I showed you guys bringing this stuff in. Obviously, we have been working really hard here on this map. I tell you what, if the inspectors would leave us alone, we could probably get a lot more done. Unfortunately, our Scorpion King is at the moment broke down. We've got some parts that are hopefully will be here tomorrow morning, bright and early, to be able to get that thing running again. So, those are just the kind of delays that you have to sort of expect when you're running an operation like this. And obviously we have been very busy. It's just coming up on 4 o'clock in the afternoon here on this first day of early spring. We are playing obviously 6 game days per season, so it's sort of 2 game days for early spring, 2 game days for mid-spring, etc. So also we've picked up this little flatbed bell trailer. We've also managed to purchase bells from some farmers in the other town down the road a piece, and so we got those here. And we also have our cows in place, and we did all that off camera. Let me just bring this up here. We don't need to go there. Bring our cows up. We've got 30 head of cattle. We've got a cleanliness at 90%, so we need to we need to muck the cows out at some point. They've got water, they've got silage and hay, they've got some power food. The only thing they don't have is grass, and of course they don't have grass because our grass is not high enough or tall enough to actually cut it. So we're just going to have to wait just a bit before we can do that. We did pick up the little Keenan mixing wagon there. I think that fits sort of best with our little farm that we've got going on here, and we've also picked up a water tanker as well, which we'll use to transport water for the cows from the pond down below that I showed you probably in the first episode. If not, let's just go on and drive down there really quick. We've got the time. to do that. So we've got a very nice little pond here on the map, and we've got a pump that is set up for us. This was all part of the map, along with an outhouse if we have the urge to go while we're down here. So we can just pull our water tanker there underneath the water spout, unlock the cabinet there, throw the switch to power the pump, and we are good to go. So hopefully once we can kind of get caught up with some of this forestry stuff, we'll get to enjoy that fishing hole there. So let me just kind of run us back up to the top of the hill, and again just kind of recap the progress that we have obviously made. I think that when we were together for episode number 2, I sort of started some of the forestry and what was going to become this first field. So we completed that. I've also just taken the time to plow around the edge and define the layout for this field. It is my hope that perhaps tomorrow I will actually hire somebody to come in and go ahead and plow this field out here. We still need to define the perimeter for this field here. It's going to be obviously a smaller field, and basically we stripped all the trees back and everything beyond the perimeter of the fence. No need in touching any of the other trees that are outside of the fence line there, just simply because, well, don't need to do anything over there on that side of the fence, so we'll leave those trees. Now, so currently we've got 2 complete fields cleared. One field, obviously the perimeter is plowed out and sort of defined. This one here, obviously we still have a lot of stumps that we need to get in here and take care of. This is going to be a fairly large field that will be running, let's see, east and west, I suppose, across here. And then just kind of looking at this piece over here, not real sure if I want to make this whole thing a field. It is going to be somewhat odd shaped, or if we might just kind of leave some of those trees and then jump over here and cut a field over here, a smaller field going north and south, I think might be the direction for that. Not sure, I'll have to take a closer look. But in any event, we've got lots of grass that we can mow on the map in other places. So I'm sort of thinking that it might be in our best interest to keep as much of our crop fields and everything here on the high plain, the plateau, if you will, of the mountain valley, and maybe you do grass and stuff down below. We'll just have to kind of see once we get things cut out. For me, from a visual perspective, it makes a lot more sense once I sort of get everything cleared off and get things set up. So we're gonna do this because this has actually been bugging me. This little log here got away from us, and let's see if we can move it through the fence. Lift it up over the fence. Yeah, I've got really long arms. I've got monster ape arms there to be able to lift this thing up like that. And we'll put it in the back of our little thing here. I was hoping it would fall down. There we go. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? All right, so let's go ahead and oops, hit the wrong button. Let's go ahead and drive over, because hey, why walk, right? Oops, well, that didn't stay in there long. I'll have to pick that back up and tie it down next time. All right, so we'll just drive right up here, get out, shut our gator off, and we're gonna do a little plowing, little field perimeter work here in our Massey. And again, I can't remember if I bought the Massey. I think I bought the Massey off camera. So I settled with this tractor simply because, well, it's not a jumbo tractor, and even in Lawfolds I was using a little bit probably larger tractor than what we might necessarily have needed for that particular map. And so let's just kind of Let's just kind of line these fields up a little bit. We're gonna make two separate fields, but I'm wanting to get my line going there, just so that things look a little bit more straight and narrow. Might as well, right? Okay, I've got to figure out how to make a field here. Allow create fields as Y, and we'll drop our plow down. Anyway, because our fields, our fields weren't by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, our fields weren't super small on lawfuls. They weren't super big, but they weren't super small. And so I sort of felt that, well, we needed a little bit more horsepower there on that map. And so, I got the big, keep hitting the wrong button, my apologies. So we got the larger, New Holland, and then we ended up getting the Fendt. And well, I don't think that right now I don't think that we have a need to necessarily do anything larger than what we're basically seeing here with this Massey. Of course, I sort of will leave it up to my own decision making as to whether or not we need to bring a larger tractor in, but I think for right now this is going to be fine. Obviously, probably the plowing is the most performance need, highest performance need that we have at this particular point in time is plowing the fields, and this little Massey is doing a fine job with this little chisel plow. So bringing it on up here to the fence row here, and try not to go through the fence. We've obviously had to do some a little bit of fence repair. Some of our guys have gotten a little bit overly excited with regards to taking trees and stuff down, and so we've had to repair some fences kind of as we've gone along, but it's no real big deal there. We'll go ahead and flip our course around here. That looks pretty good. No need in getting super close to the fence or anything, because that's just gonna. Anyway, hope you all are having a wonderful day. I tell you what, it has been just a marvelous, beautiful day here on Mountain Valley Farm, and getting things done, getting everything ready to go has just been a joy. And I can really start to see it start to come together as far as the map is concerned, with getting the perimeter of that big field sort of lined up, and obviously taking a look and seeing how this one's going to play out is also quite exciting. It's quite an accomplishment, I think. Let's just kind of take a look and see a couple of things here. How many trees have we actually taken out? I think it shows it right over here on this screen. So yeah, 228 trees total. I've taken out 90 in this game session. I have worked a little bit. Obviously, I've cut down 90 trees, so that's probably more than just a little bit, but I've worked off camera before I started recording this session. And so 228 trees total, and that's just in these three fields. That's just in the big field to the left, this field here, and then the field that's in front of us. So as you can kind of tell, we've still got a lot of work to do. There we go. And but I think we're making pretty good progress if we can sort of remember to drop our plow and everything before we get ready to go. Making good progress. We're hiring obviously a few people to help us out from time to time. Obviously we've got a driver that's helping us out running the logs and everything to the sell point. Right now our log buyer is sort of putting us on hold just a little bit. That's why we have started staging the logs and everything in the middle of the big field to the left, and obviously we will have to get those cleared out before we start plowing that field, which would hope that we should be able to get those logs cleared out tomorrow, by tomorrow anyways, and then that way we can get things going. So there's our field perimeter is all set up. So I think we can just kind of start plowing this guy in, making this field. And all right, so fix that small little problem. Okay, we're back at it now, plowing our field here. We're going to go ahead and plow this guy on out here, and that will pretty much be the content or the topic for this episode. You know, this will sort of get our plowing out for the series. Anyways, I try not to showcase or spend a lot of time with we'll make this headland here just a little bit easier for us, but I try not to spend a lot of time duplicating stuff, just because I know that you guys want to see different things. I like experiencing different things. Obviously the forestry, I probably have not, I don't think I cut down 200 trees in Farm Sim 15 for the entire life of that particular video game. So to basically, you know, cut down 228 trees on one particular map is probably a bit of a stretch for me to do that. But you know, it's all part of telling the story, and we like telling the story, so that's what we're basically gonna do. So yeah, I think this little Massey is going to do us fine. We've got $400,000 in the bank, and of course we have no bank loans, so we basically have been paying cash for everything. And of course this is a little bit different approach than what you might see on YouTube as far as how others are playing this map. I will just remind you that I'm very appreciative to Mr. Jerry Ott for creating this map, such a wonderful map. And want to thank Mark for the inspiration from watching his series, from watching how he played it, Mark DuPont. You'll find a link to his YouTube channel down below in the notes section down below the video. But I want to thank him for the inspiration on playing this map. I watched his series of him playing this map, and he played it in ultra hard mode, realistic mode. He cut down every tree manually. He did not bring in the expensive Ponzi buffalo. Of course, that's his interpretation of how he wanted to play the map. My interpretation of how I wanted to play the map obviously is with a little bit larger equipment and not spending quite as much time in doing forestry and stuff like that, because while many people just sort of despise watching any sort of amount of forestry with Farm Sim content on YouTube, I almost despise doing it. It's quite difficult. It's a little bit better in 17, I've got to admit, and I realize that I'm sort of going way off the whole role play thing here with this episode, but do bear with me. I am sort of getting back into the fold as far as playing Farm Sim. We'll get that lined up, and so yeah, so I'm not real sure. I'm not going to make a decision right now, but right now I'm going to focus on Mountain Valley Farm as far as the series is concerned, just because the amount of work that I've got to do off camera, as you can probably imagine, 228 trees, I'm cutting those down with the buffalo, or with the scorpion. Obviously that speeds things up drastically is the word that I was looking for, and that speeds it up drastically. But at the same time, it is a time-consuming process because I've got to grind the stumps and I've got to haul the logs down to the mill and sell them. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I really don't have time. I really don't have time right now to really do two series right now. So I'm gonna put a temporary hold on Lone Star just for a week or two to kind of see how my schedule at work picks up. As I have also indicated to you as well, I have sort of the flight sim bug has sort of bit me again. And as I think alluded to in sort of a flight sim introductory video that you have already seen, I believe, um, that is something that is a passion of mine. It's a love of mine that goes back quite a number of years, over 35 years, I believe, something like that, back to the mid 80s, early 80s, on the Commodore 64, flying around Meigs Field in Chicago and everything. And so, having said all of that, I enjoy a variety of games. I enjoy American Truck Simulator and ETS2, and one of these days New Mexico is going to come out for ATS. Of course, we don't have a date on that, or at least I don't think a date has been mentioned. So, but when that does, obviously that's going to be some exciting times, and I'm going to want to spend a little bit of time playing ATS. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. Um, but also because I also enjoy flight sim, I'm gonna want to play that as well, especially now that we've got that fantastic 64-bit version of Prepared, version 4. It is just looking super nice, and I actually hope to put a live stream up later today. And by the way, just for date purposes, it's the 3rd of June. It's Saturday morning, the 3rd of June. It's just about 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been up for about 2.5 hours, and like I said, I've been pretty much cutting trees for pretty much that entire time, getting this field cleared and getting a good start on that other field. And so, and I know that I could just do those, I could do that gaming off camera, um, and not record it, not put it on the channel. It's still going to limit my amount of spare time, free time that I have, because, keep in mind that if I'm gaming and not necessarily recording stuff for either truck sim or flight sim or whatever, that doesn't mean that I can still spend the same amount of time down in my basement office, playing farm sim. I've got obviously other responsibilities to my family, and obviously my job, and I think I've got a trip coming up in July. Now I'm going to be on vacation the first week of July, so basically from about the 1st of July through the Independence Day holiday, I'm going to be on vacation. I do not know at this particular point in time if I'm going to have a sort of a stockpile of videos to keep things going that week. So I would ask you that if that doesn't work out for me, because as I said, even though I had a stockpile of videos not too long ago, that stockpile is pretty much gone now because I had some things, like I said, that came up, and I had to basically devote much of the time that I would have normally spent gaming. I had to devote that to some work projects, some personal projects, and just some family stuff. And so all of that stuff comes first, folks. I mean, I'm never going to put I can't put my channel ahead of those things, and I know you all understand that, and my fellow YouTube friends who don't do this full time, by the way, also understand this, and eventually I think everybody at one time or another is going to have a situation where they're going to have to put the game aside, put the channel aside, even though they may not want to, but they will have to do that to take care of other commitments that's taking place in their lives. If I was doing this full time, if this were my job, then obviously that would be a completely different scenario, because if this were my job, then I would allocate, you know, 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, whatever. I mean, I'm not sure. Guys that earn their living strictly from YouTube, I don't know if they sort of work an 8 hour day or not. I don't really know. That's none of my business. And but in any event, you know, I don't even work an 8 hour day at my job. I mean, my days are usually about nine and a half. So, but anyway, I think you get the point that if this were my full-time job, then obviously I would allocate time to do this, to keep the channel going and everything, because that would be my income. This is an extension of my hobby, and it's an extension of my gaming hobby, so therefore it has to fit around everything else that's taking place in my life. And obviously, uh, you know, things like my job, my family, other commitments, my own health as far as that goes. You know, I've started working out again, and I tell you what, it feels super good to be sort of active and to be losing a little bit of weight that I had gained over the holidays and over the late winter months and early spring. The weather was kind of nasty around here. And so, you know, lots of soup and bread and things, comfort food, comfort type food and stuff like that. But anyway, feels good to get out and work out and everything and do my walks and all of that stuff. So all of that, you know, all of that has to come first. And I think, as I mentioned maybe in that flight sim introduction video, you know, I hadn't even realized this, but since probably the first of the year, when I sort of got really geared up and everything, I was putting out, well, at one point I was putting out a video every day, so that was 7 videos a week. And then it sort of dropped down to 6, and I managed to do 6 videos a week almost for about 3-4 months straight. And it just takes it out of you. I mean, this is not, it's not rocket science, it's not super difficult, but it's also not super equal or super easy. For every minute that we spend playing the game, or at least for every minute that I spend playing the game, you know, I've got at least that much time, actually probably more than that time. So let's say, for example, I spend 30 minutes recording a video. Okay, I'm probably going to have anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour of work to do to that video, to do the editing. And of course, a lot of it, of course, the editing is me constantly more or less rewatching the video, and I don't edit out my accidents, my bump, if I run into a tree or run into something like that. But there are times that, you know, I will cough or something clear my throat or something like that, and I do try to take that stuff out because it can be annoying. I recognize that. Um, but so I guess what I'm trying to say is for almost every minute of video that you guys see, we've got probably, you know, 1.5 times that we've put into post-production, maybe a little bit more. And of course, some of it is just automated, just waiting for the video to render in our software and then uploading to YouTube and stuff like that, which I don't necessarily count that. But in any event, it does take time. And so with that said, you know, that's why I'm just saying that there's going to be just a little bit of a revision to my schedule. If things change and I can crank out more content, and I can do something a little more frequent or whatever, then I will do that. So hopefully you guys will continue to enjoy this series. Again, we've got our very first field plowed out and ready to go. We do need to go ahead and buy our fertilizing apparatus. It's probably going to be a granular fertilizer that we'll use at this stage, and then spray obviously maybe at the final fertilization stage once we get crop growth going. But we'll probably come in and probably what I will do is work off camera to basically finish up cutting all the logs over here and basically clearing all the stumps and everything. And then we've obviously got to sell that huge pile of logs that we've staged there in the middle of that field, get that down to the market as soon as he's ready for more timber, and then go ahead and plow this field. I will probably hire somebody to plow this field for me, and that will free up me to continue working with the forestry stuff. And then we need to come in with a fertilize application and spread granular fertilizer, and then cultivate this, and then basically just sort of wait until we're in the optimum, time to start planting, which is pretty close. I mean, we are, let me just kind of pull up seasons here. So basically our minimum temperature is 41 degrees for the first stuff that we want to plant, which is probably going to be our wheat, barley, canola, something like that. I'm not sure. So basically we are just a few degrees away from that. So maybe that's tomorrow. If not, it will most likely be mid-spring. So we're not in a time crunch. I feel actually pretty darn good as far as our schedule goes here and everything that we've got going on. I'm glad that we've got our cows in place, because they will, even though they don't have grass at this particular point in time, our cows actually are going to assist in making money for the operation, and every bit helps. We've probably got a good chunk of change sitting over here tied up in these logs. And again, we've got lots more trees to clear out of this area, probably create 2 fields there. And I think that's probably going to be all the fields that we're going to be able to create, at least on this plateau. Now we may consider doing something down below, down sort of at the driveway, just to the right of the driveway, opposite of the pond area. There might be something that we can put in there, and we'll just kind of have to take a wait and see approach to that and just kind of see how things go. But I like the size of these fields. I think these are going to be fantastic. One thing that is sort of I've struggled with Lone Star is that their fields are big, and even though we've got big equipment and multiple equipment and everything, to keep my episodes at around 30 minutes or so, it was requiring almost twice as much work off camera just to finish up the harvest or finish up the seeding or whatever the case might be. And so I really think that these fields, I think that we can probably do the majority of this stuff in an episode, and that way I don't have to do a whole lot of stuff off camera just to kind of keep things from running into each other and becoming a bit mundane and a bit monotonous. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for all the recent subscribers. We have passed 700, and that is so exciting. I'm so appreciative to all of my new friends who have found the channel. And I would suspect that we will probably have some more people that will be joining the channel, hopefully based on their interest in flight sim. I think 2017 is going to be a good year for both farm sim and flight sim. Obviously we've got cattle and crops that should come out sometime this month in June, I think, if they can get that cat out of the wheelbarrow. And then of course we've had a lot of exciting news with releases to new flight sim platforms as well. So I'm going to go, about to lose my voice, I think. And I just appreciate you guys watching. And this is just going to be such a beautiful map, I believe, to play. And I can't wait to get the fields defined and start getting some stuff in the ground and tend to our cows and just enjoy things here with this map at a little bit slower pace. I think I kind of like that about this, what I've got plans for this map. So thank you so much for watching. This has been episode 3 of Mountain Valley Farm. I thank you for watching, and please come back again for the next episode very soon. Take care now, and see you all very, very soon. Bye bye.